I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by the victorious gentleman, John Hedges, here at the O2 for Joshua Franklin. When are you getting rid of that tash?
Not coming anytime soon, Umar. I think the people like it, so I've got to keep it. At least I don't look like a little kid no more, you know what I mean?
Otti was complaining ringside.
Oh, don't say that, don't say that.
I'm joking, I don't want to get her in trouble. John, just reflect on that performance for me, please, mate.
Listen, if I'm being brutally honest, I'd love to have got him out there. Got more in the tank than what I showed, but I was fit. I'd done the 8 rounds comfortably. It was my first 8 rounder. And yeah, I'm overall very happy with it. It was a step up in opponent in terms of record. And I didn't lose a second of any round, so I carry on. I haven't lost any rounds and stayed untouched in there. A little bit dangly at some times, but the work that I did get off I thought was very nice work. My jab was very good, as I believe that's my best shot. I kept that going, and yeah, overall I'm happy. How can I moan? I'm on an Anthony Joshua undercard, 20 years old, and just done my first 8 round and won every round. So I've got to be grateful for that.
John, what was the weight it was made at for tonight?
It was made at 191, and I come in at 189. So I come in a couple pounds light.
So do you think the future for you is cruiserweight?
110%. If I'm being realistic, obviously, as you know, the light heavyweight to cruiserweight is a massive jump. Yeah. I'm 20 years of age, and I know that in the long run, I'm going to have to eventually, just because of the size of me, be a cruiser. So at the minute, we're playing with the weight. Instead of cutting down to a light heavy, I'm not going to box for a title. It's pointless. So slowly building up. And yeah, and I'm gonna campaign at a cruiserweight. I'm confident in that.
Do you still feel sharp at a heavier weight?
Yeah, I still feel my sharpness. I feel like, as any fighter would, you're a little bit slower, and I think I'm a little bit stronger. It's just filling into the weight and getting natural at the weight.
You did say it was a bit scrappy in there at times. What do you put that down to?
I think probably the opponent, if anything, and my own work. It was a bit of a scrappy opponent. I closed the gap a little bit too much, and I should have gave myself a little bit more room. But overall, I'm happy with that. I can't, like, yeah.
Where do we go next? I mean, do we start talking about perhaps an English title soon, John? Is that realistic?
Being realistic, I think the next 8 months, or whatever we say, 6 to 8 months, is still building rounds, getting confidence at this new weight, and building into my own self and finding my own style. So I'm only, like I say, I'm 8 fights in, but 100%. Listen, I've made this clear from the start. When I start fighting for titles, I want to stay in the title run. There's international titles out there. There's youth international titles which I can go for. Leave it down to my management and see where I get to.
Okay, John Hedges, well done. Another win on a Joshua undercard, which would have been special for you, I suppose.
Mate, it's a massive deal, and that's exactly what I mean by that. When people are saying about how do you think your performance is, I walked out with Anthony Joshua on the main event. Come on, I'm winning.
Top man, well done, mate.
Thank you. Cheers,
I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.